Do you ever feel like you're moving through mud? That heavy, sluggish feeling that just sticks to you no matter how much you sleep. I used to feel that way all the time. It was like a constant low-grade fog had settled over my mind and body. I remember this one particular spring morning I woke up. The sun was streaming in. Birds were singing. And all I wanted to do was crawl back under the covers. My joints felt stiff, my head was cloudy, and the idea of facing the day just felt overwhelming. It wasn't sadness exactly. It was just this profound sense of heaviness. I try to eat healthy, big smoothies, lots of yogurt bowls, but somehow they just made me feel even more bogged down. I was doing everything I thought was right, but I felt like I was dragging a 10-pound weight around with me everywhere I went. Does any of that sound familiar? If it does, stick with me because what I learned next changed everything, and it has nothing to do with extreme diets or punishing workouts. What I stumbled upon was the ancient wisdom of Ayurveda, and specifically, the concept of the Kapha dosha. Now don't let the Sanskrit word scare you. In Ayurveda, everyone has a unique blend of three energies or dashas. Kapha is the energy made of earth and water. Think of a mighty oak tree, solid, stable, and strong. When your Kapha is in balance, you feel grounded, loving, and reliable. You have great stamina and a calm, steady mind. It's a beautiful, nurturing energy. But when that earth and water energy gets a little too abundant, that's when the trouble starts. That stable, earthy quality can turn into stubbornness and stagnation. The cool, watery nature can become a cold, damp heaviness. That solid strength can feel like a heavy weight you just can't shake. It's not a bad thing to have Kapha energy. It's just about learning how to keep it flowing instead of letting it become stagnant like a pond turning into a swamp. So, how do you know if you have an excess of Kapha? Let's do a quick self-check. Do you often feel sluggish, especially in the morning? Is it a real struggle to wake up and get going? Maybe you notice you gain weight easily and have a hard time losing it. You might find yourself feeling congested, with a runny nose or a bit of a cough, especially after eating certain foods. Emotionally, you might feel overly sentimental, a bit possessive, or just generally lethargic and unmotivated. Your skin might be on the oily side and you might feel cold and damp a lot of the time. If you're nodding along to a few of these, you might just be dealing with a Kapha imbalance. It's not a diagnosis but a clue from your body that it needs a little help finding its flow again. So, why does this heaviness happen? In Ayurveda, a key concept is Agni, or your digestive fire. For Kapha types, this fire tends to be like a low, slow simmer rather than a roaring blaze. It's gentle, but it can be easily overwhelmed. Imagine you're trying to cook a big pot of thick, hearty stew over a tiny little candle flame. It's just not going to cook properly, right? It'll get lukewarm, mushy, and just sit there. That's what can happen in your digestion. When you eat heavy, cold, or oily foods, your low-simmering digestive fire can't process them efficiently. The undigested food creates a kind of sticky residue, which Ayurveda calls ama. This sticky ama is what clogs up your system, making you feel foggy, congested, and weighed down. The key isn't to starve yourself, but to give your digestive fire the right kind of fuel it can actually burn. Let's talk about 3 common food traps that can really douse that Kapha fire and how to sidestep them. The first trap is an over-reliance on sweet, heavy foods. Think big bowls of oatmeal with brown sugar and bananas, or dense, sweet energy bars. While seemingly healthy, their heavy sweet nature can increase Kapha. A simple swap is to embrace pungent and bitter flavors. Try adding a sprinkle of cinnamon, ginger, or cardamom to your food. Instead of a banana, try some berries or a stewed apple. These spices act like kindling for your digestive fire. For greens, swap out the sweet baby spinach for more bitter greens like arugula, kale, or dandelion greens. The second trap is dairy. I know cheese, yogurt, and creamy lattes are delicious, but their cold, heavy, and mucus-forming qualities are a big no-no for calming Kapha. This was a huge one for me. I used to start every day with a yogurt parfait. A simple swap is to explore dairy-free alternatives. Try an unsweetened almond or oat milk in your coffee. Instead of a yogurt bowl, maybe you have those stewed apples with a sprinkle of seeds. You'll be amazed at how much lighter and less congested you feel just by reducing dairy. The third trap is excess oil and fat. This includes fried foods, but also just using too much heavy oil in your cooking or eating a lot of fatty nuts and seeds. Remember that low simmering digestive fire? It just can't handle a lot of grease. The swap here is simple. Use less oil and choose lighter oils like extra virgin olive oil or a tiny bit of ghee. Instead of frying, try baking, steaming, or sauteing your vegetables. You get all the flavor without weighing yourself down. Making these small shifts isn't about deprivation. It's about choosing foods that work with your body's natural rhythm instead of against it. So, what does a day of eating and living to feel lighter look like? It's simpler than you think. Start your morning with movement. It doesn't have to be a crazy workout. Just 10 to 15 minutes of stretching, yoga, or a brisk walk to get the energy flowing. Then, instead of a heavy breakfast, sip on a cup of warm water with a squeeze of lemon. For your first meal, keep it light, like a pear or some berries. For lunch, which should be your main meal of the day when your digestive fire is strongest, think warm and nourishing. A bowl of quinoa with steamed kale, roasted broccoli, and some lentils, seasoned with ginger and cumin is perfect. After lunch, a simple habit that makes a huge difference is to take 100 steps. Just a short walk around the office or your home helps digestion get started. Aim for an early light dinner. Something like a simple vegetable soup or steamed asparagus with a small piece of baked fish. This sets you up for the next powerful tool, a gentle overnight fast. By finishing dinner early, you give your body a 14 to 16-hour window to fully digest, repair, and reset before your next meal. If you only take away 2 things from this, let them be these 2 daily habits. First, sweat every day. Again, it's not about punishment. It's about stimulating your system and moving that stagnant energy. A brisk walk, a dance party in your living room, a bike ride, anything that gets your heart rate up and makes you feel warm and invigorated. It's like turning up the heat on that low simmer. Second, practice gentle fasting by creating that 14 to 16-hour window between dinner and your first meal the next day. This gives your digestive system a much-needed break to do its cleanup job, clearing out that sticky and leaving you feeling clearer and lighter when you wake up. These 2 habits alone can be transformative. Finally, let's talk about mindset. This journey isn't about becoming skinny. It's about feeling light. It's about choosing vitality over sluggishness. Think about the difference between an oak tree and a bamboo stalk. The oak is strong and stable, but it's also rigid. It can be snapped by a strong wind. Bamboo is also incredibly strong, but it's flexible. It bends with the wind and then bounces right back. When we release that excess kapha heaviness, we become more like bamboo, resilient, flexible, and able to move through life with grace and ease. It's a shift from feeling stuck to feeling free. So, every time you make a choice, ask yourself, does this make me feel heavy or does this make me feel light? Choose light. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this has offered you a new perspective and some simple, actionable steps you can start taking right away to feel lighter and more vibrant. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips on living with energy and joy. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which tip are you most excited to try first? Take care and be well.